Stop talking about slavery and white supremacy. You're hurting America's feelings. Hey everyone, it's Ahmed Zahir, and for white people, that's Amr Zar. Now, I'm an adjunct professor at American Law School, and I teach critical race theory. And let me tell you how I explain America, race, and white supremacy to my students. Spoiler alert, racism is not just a little speed bump in the majestic American highway of freedom, equality, and justice. Imagine a man, he weighs 400 pounds. How did he get to 400 pounds? Well, he ate donuts every day, every meal, his whole life. Why? Because they're delicious. He talked about eating fruits and vegetables sometimes, but basically it was all donuts all the time. One day at the age of 60, he decides he's turning his life around. He stops eating donuts cold turkey. He starts eating clean. Now, before I continue, let's take a quick break to review American history. The first white European settlements, Virginia in the 1600s. Slavery of Africans, immediate. Battles with indigenous peoples, also immediate. The colonial laws, well, black people were property. Declaration of Independence called natives merciless Indian savages. The Constitution, black people, 3/5 of a person, but of course couldn't vote or own property. And then our 1790 naturalization law, citizenship equals white only, and that lasted until 1952. And what about the indigenous population? Well, in the late 1600s, it was 145 million. By the late 1800s, 10 million. Today, 7 million. The Civil War, yes, it ended slavery in 1865. We got amendments 13, 14, and 15. That's great. But then, 100 more years of Jim Crow. In 1954, we finally said separate but equal is not equal. In 1964, we got the Civil Rights Act that finally outlawed discrimination nationwide. I left out a lot, but let's pretend, just pretend, that racism ended in 1964, definitely not earlier than that. So 1600 until 1965, now it's 2025. If America were a 70-year-old man today, he was really openly racist until he was 60. So back to Mr. Donuts, he's 60, finally stopped. What's gonna happen? Well, he'll lose weight, but stretch marks everywhere, relics of those donuts. Sure, he can get surgery, but the scars remain, the arteries still clogged, the risk of heart failure forever. And oh yeah, he's still gonna want donuts. You know why? Because donuts are delicious. He'd love them. That urge never disappears. He might even put donut statues in his front yard. The effects of slavery, genocide of indigenous peoples, lynchings, Jim Crow, all of it, they don't just vanish because they're not officially happening today. And honestly, they might kind of still be happening. America might still be sneaking out of the bed at midnight and grabbing a donut, or maybe a few. That's how you have to understand America. A 70-year-old guy who ravaged his body for the first 60. If that were your father, would you feel good about his health? I wouldn't. I'd be talking to him about donuts every single day, making sure he never went near one again, because I'd want him to live a long life. I'd want him to see his grandkids graduate college donut-free. We don't talk about the history of white supremacy because we hate our country. We do it because we're trying to love it. This video was brought to you by our sponsor, Krispy Kreme.